Good morning, friends. Welcome to our channel Design of Energy Efficiency of the Buildings. This is one of the air conditioning plant room. You are seeing the various pumps, chillers, electrical panels. Today I will brief you about the various points like number one, principle of air conditioning, heat load calculation, selection of chillers, pipe size selection, AHU and duct size selection, ventilation and pressurization system. Number one is principle of air conditioning. How the refrigeration system works. The refrigerant from the evaporator takes heat, it comes to the compressor where it compresses, its thermal potential increase means pressure and temperature increases. After that the refrigerant enter in the condenser where it rejects the heat. The condenser may be a air cooled or water cooled condenser. After condenser, the refrigerant comes in the thermostatic expansion valve where the expansion of the refrigerant takes place and its temperature goes down. After that this refrigerant enters in the evaporator, it takes heat from the water or from the load and again goes to the compressor. So this is the basic refrigeration cycle. Now we come to the heat load calculation. Following are the steps to calculate the heat load. Number one, location of the building, type of building, mean it whether it's a residential, commercial, retail, hospital, hotels, theaters. If industry, then type, whether it's electronic industry, IT, pharmaceutical, textile, food products, etc. Because its design will be based on that. Number three, the glass area, type of the glass and direction. Based on that, we calculate the solar gain and trans gain. Heat gain through the wall, floor, roof, whether exposed or insulated. Then lighting and equipment load. Occupancy load. The occupancy load, the load due to the pupils. There will be sensible heat and latent heat. The occupancy load also depends upon the type of work. If it is some heavy industry or light industry or person sitting in an office, the load will be different. Then last is infiltration and outside air load. Based on the above, we calculate the summer and monsoon load and design will be based on whichever is higher. After calculating the sensible latent load, we calculate the sensible heat factor, apparatus dew point, bypass factor. Based on that, we work out the dehumidified CFM and size of the cooling coil. This is one of the load estimation sheet on which we calculate the heat load. What is the area of the glass on north side, west side, southwest, northwest, and solar heating factor U value. Then we calculate the total load on BTU per hour. Similarly, trans gain through the glass walls and heat gain through the floor partition wall, then lighting load, equipment load, load due to the occupancy. We calculate total sensible load, then latent load due to the infiltration outside air and due to occupancy. Based on that, there is total load, and after calculating all this load by selecting the apparatus dew point and bypass factor, we work out the dehumidified CFM. And based on that, we work out the selection of the other equipments. This is the basic psychrometric chart where we can have what is your outside temperature, what is the inside temperature, then what is the outside humidity and inside humidity, wet bulb temperature. Based on that, we work out the conditions, outside conditions and inside conditions. Based on that, we can work out what is the sensible load, latent load and apparatus dew point, and since we can calculate the sensible heat factor. In air conditioning system, these are the drivable temperature in summer, monsoon, winter. and these are the wet bulb temperature. These are the inside condition. Normally for comfort conditions, we have a 74 degree Fahrenheit plus minus 2 or 23.3 plus minus 1 centigrade. Relative humidity not exceeding 65% during monsoon. Fresh air replenishment as per the SI standards. This is a chill water system. Basically, if it is floor area, this is height. I am taking example of lift lobbies. Then we have occupancy, light load, equipment load, hours of operation. Energy efficiency measures. You know why during design of any system, we have to minimize the energy. What are the energy efficiency measures? For example, in case of glazing, all glazing retail area should have U value of 0.56 BTU per hour per square feet. Shading coefficient 0.7. All glazing office area should have a U value of 0.56 and shading coefficient of 0.56. Windows in office shall be provided with double blinds. All exposed wall of 200 mm thick AC block, that is autoclaved aerated concrete block, has been considered having U value as a 0.2 BTU per hour per square feet degree Fahrenheit. Overdeck thermal insulation for all exposed to sun roof using at least 50 mm thick extruded polystyrene insulation. Use of chiller. In case of nowadays, we use the chiller plant manager, which saves the energy a lot. It switch off and switch off the chiller based on the load. Use of the VFD, variable frequency drive, on chiller and pumps and cooling tower. U value as per the ECBC norms. ECBC, the Energy Conservation Building Code, has specified some certain U value of the material. For RCC slab, 3-inch thick, overdeck insulation, U value 0.07, underdeck insulation of 2-inch thick, U value 0.12. For 200 mm thick AC block, U value 0.12, and double glass. In double glass, we use a glass 6 mm thick and 12 mm air gap, then again glass of 6 mm thick. That is, glass used is ST190, U value is 0.32 and solar heat gain coefficient of 0.29. These are the U value as per ECBC, and these are generally U value we used. Central air conditioning plant. There are two types of central air conditioning system. One is a DX type and second is a chill water system, flooded type. And air handling units, fan coil units, central air washer, central evaporator and central cooling plant. Various parts of chill water air conditioning system. In plant room, we use this compressor, condenser, expansion device, evaporator, pumps and condenser evaporators. If they are silent tube type, they are called DX type. And if water flows in the silent tube and water in a cell, then it is called flooded type. Air handling units room. In air handling units, installed at various locations of the building, which are to be air conditioned, and in this water comes in the coil, it takes heat and again back to the plant room. Cooling tower, the water from the condenser, it goes to the cooling tower, where due to evaporation of water, the water gets cooled and the cold water comes to the condenser and again it goes to the cooling tower. This is the basic chilled water cycle in case of a central air conditioning plant. The chilled water from the chiller comes to the pumps, and this is expansion tank. Where any losses of water is there, the expansion tank acts as a wake-up. The water, and this is air separator. Whenever the air comes in the chilled water system, the air separator, it separates the air. The water through the pumps, it comes to the air handling units or cooling load, takes heat from the area and again it goes to the chillers. This is heat pump. Nowadays heat pump is also very common used in the case of a winter season. Here, this is just like a reverse system. The refrigerant from the condenser from condenser comes to the heating coil. The hot water is circulating. The water is circulating. It gets hot and goes to the area which is to be heat. And this refrigerant comes in the evaporator, takes heat and goes to the evaporator. Then this water blower is running. Then again the refrigerant comes to the compressor, and again it goes to the coils and then evaporator. You can see the COP, that is coefficient of performance. If we work out the coefficient of performance of a heat pump, this is higher than the coefficient of performance of the refrigeration system. This is the COP, maximum heat supplied over the work required, QH upon QH minus QC. This is the heat on the condenser, and QH minus this is heat used for the compressor. This is TH upon TH minus TC, and COP of the refrigeration system plus 1 is equal to the COP of the heat pump. It shows that the COP of the heat pump is higher than the COP of the refrigeration system. This is the various air conditioning parameters for different type of buildings and for different type of applications. The temperature requirement, site temperature, light, equipment, occupancy, fresh air, and the load square feet per ton and CFM per square feet. For example, for office and IT building, inside temperature 74 degrees Fahrenheit, lighting load 1 watt per square feet, equipment load 2 watt per square feet, occupancy 70 square feet per person, fresh air requirement 17 CFM per person, and this is the load is coming around 180 square feet per ton and 3 CFM per square feet. Similarly, for your commercial areas and for your restaurant, residential building, 74 degree Fahrenheit, lighting load 1 watt per square feet, equipment 200 watt per room, occupancy, this is 2% per room or 6% per flat. Fresh air requirement 1 air change per hour. This is a total load 200 square feet per ton and 3 CFM per square feet. So this is one of the, as a ready reckoner, one can refer this. Various type of air conditioning system. In our modern life, we use a split AC system, ductable AC system, VRV, variable refrigerant volume, chilled water, central air conditioning plant, and air cooled system. In case of split unit, the tentative cost is around 20,000 per ton. This is load 120 square feet per ton, power consumption 1.5 kilowatt per ton, and this is 300 CFM per ton. In case of ductable, 26,000 per ton, 150 square feet per ton, power consumption 1.4 kilowatt, and 400 CFM per ton. VRV, in case of VRV system, cost is around 40,000 per ton of indoor unit. Load 150 square feet per ton, power consumption 1.25 kilowatt per ton, CFM 330 CFM per ton. Then chill water system, cost is coming around 65,000 per ton, besides the cost of the FCU and HU, and this is cost around 200 square feet per ton, power consumption 1.1 kilowatt per ton, and CFM around 400 CFM per ton. So this is one in the table form one can see. Comparison of chillers. Various type of chillers are available in our air conditioning system. Reciprocating chillers, screw chillers, centrifugal chiller, VAM and scroll. They are the capacity. If load is from 0.5 to 100 ton, we use the reciprocating compressor. If load is from 200 to 400 ton, screw compressor. 400 to 1200 ton, centrifugal. If load is from 400 to 1500 ton, then VAM. VAM is normally we use if the waste heat is available. suppose karo for any industry, for any boiler, if waste heat is available, then vapor absorption machine is quite good. Scroll compressor, if load is from 2.5 to 1.15 ton, and scroll. This is the power consumption. For rest coating 1.25 kilowatt per ton, for screw 0.75, for centrifugal 0.65, for VAM 1.25, and for scroll 1.25. Efficiency, full load efficiency is better. Screw can work at part load efficiency. Centrifugal full load efficiency is better. This is the water consumption. Cost per ton. There is a tentative cost for rest coating 12,000 per ton, for screw 15,000 per ton, for centrifugal 10,000 per ton. So they are the roughly cost per ton of a chillers. This is one of the view of the screw chiller. There is screw, it is mono screw or twin screw. It may be a single compressor or double compressor. A loading and unloading device. They are the condenser, evaporator. Centrifugal chiller. This is one of the view of the centrifugal chiller. This is compressor. This is your suction line. This is discharge line. This is hermetically sealed compressor. This is evaporator, condenser. Refrigerant from compressor comes to condenser, gets cooled. Then through the expansion device, it goes to the evaporator where water is circulating. Comparison of water cooled and air cooled chillers. Both type of chillers are available in the market. Air cooled chiller is normally used if water of good quality is not available. There is comparison of power consumption. For compressor, in case of water cooled 0.65 kilowatt per ton, in case of air cooled 1.2 kilowatt per ton. For condenser water pump 0.094, for chill water pump 0.078, for cooling tower 0.037, for AHU 0.18, for total is coming 1.04 kilowatt per ton. Whereas in case of air cooled chiller is 1.46 kilowatt per ton. So definitely we always use for water cooled system if water is available. Piping design. After that, in case of central air conditioning plant, we design the piping system. The basis is 5 feet per 100 feet of equivalent length. As a thumb rule, we calculate the pipe dia as a GPM divided by 12 whole under root. The maximum velocity permissible is 500 feet per minute. This is the pipe dia maximum velocity in meter per second, and this is in feet per minute. As a thumb rule, if this is the load, so this is the approximately pipe dia. For example, if load is up to 3 ton, pipe dia will be 25 m dia. For 100 ton, 100 dia. If load is 500 ton, then pipe dia will be approximately 200 dia. For 1000 ton, load will be around pipe dia will be 300, and for 4000 TR, the pipe dia will be 600. Normally for chill water system, we use 2.4 US GPM per ton, and for condenser water is 4 US GPM per ton. But in case of a big plant, we use 2 US GPM per ton for chill water and 3 US GPM per ton for condenser water. This is a pressure independent balancing cum control valve. Earlier we used the reverse return system in chill water line to have a equal friction drop in the pipeline, because if the equal friction drop will not be there, then water will not flow inside the unit. Pressure independent balancing cum control valve, it has eliminated this reverse return pipe, and it balances the and control the flow of the water in the system. Technical parameter for split AC and fan coil units. 4 split units for various tonnage, 1, 1.5, 2 ton multi unit. This is the CFM 330 CFM per ton for 1 ton, for 1.5 450, for 2 ton 560 CFM. This is power consumption for different type of units, ampere current rating, the size of the MCB and size of the outdoor unit. In case of fan coil unit, these are the tonnage 1.52 ton, this is the CFM, this is the power consumption of indoor unit. For example, 1 ton 60 watt, for 1.5 60 watt, same. And this is size of the indoor size. This is one of the typical air handling units. This is your pre-filter section, then your microwave filters, or sometimes we have some charcoal filters, and this is a cooling coil. The air after filtration, it comes passing through the cooling coil. This cooling coil may be a 4 rows, 6 rows, 8 rows as per the design. For example, in case of treated fresh air, we normally use this 6 row and 8 row coil. In case of normal air conditioning, this is a 4 row coil. They are the blowers. The blower, it sucks the air through this cooling coil and the air get cooled and then supplied through the duct to the load center. Ducting. In case of air conditioning system, we can normally consider the duct friction loss as a 0.1 inch water gauge per 100 feet of equivalent length for calculating the duct size. As per the gauge, there are two systems. One is we refer the IS, and second is SMECNA standards. For example, up to 750 mm, if as per the SMECNA it is 26 gauge, or if it is as per the IS, then it will be the 24 gauge. For 750 to 1000, 24 gauge, 1001 to 1500, 24 gauge, 1501 to 1800, 22 gauge. So these are the various gauges as per the size of the duct. This is the pressure rating of the duct. Normally for comfort system 250 pascals, and these are the for round duct. If it is up to 200 mm, then it is 24 gauge. For 225 to 600 mm size, 22 gauge, and likewise if the size of the round duct is up to 1800 mm, it will be the 18 gauge. This is the duct friction chart normally used for the calculating the duct size. This is friction factor, and here the airflow in CFM. So we have the size of the duct. So normally we calculating the size of duct in a round duct, and this is a chart. From that we can convert the round duct into the rectangular duct. So this is equivalent duct size in round size, and these are the for the rectangular size. VRV system, that is variable refrigerant volume system. This is very popular nowadays. Beauty of the VRV system is that, for example, in case of apartment or small offices, we can have a one outdoor unit and multi indoor units. So it looks aesthetically good, and we cannot spoil our whole balconies. So we can put the one outdoor unit in a service area and indoor units at the different location or different rooms. They are available 8 HP, 10 HP, 12 HP, 14, 16 HP. This is the MCB rating for different units, size of the cable, and cost in lakhs. For example, for 8 HP, it is tentative 1.5 lakhs. For 10 HP, 1.6, likewise. And there are the indoor units, 1.5, 1.6 and 2 ton. This is the CFM of the indoor power consumptions and tentative rate. If the refrigeration load is around 10 ton, then capacity of the indoor unit will be 10 ton and outdoor unit will be around 10 HP. You can say around 10 HP means tentatively is 8 ton, and power consumption is also 10 kilowatt. So we can see the power consumption of VRV system is slightly less than the split AC. The ratio of the indoor unit to outdoor unit should not more than 1.3. Design outdoor condition and indoor condition is 35 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade. This is D rating. If outdoor temperature is 48 degrees centigrade, then D rating will be around 8%. Insulation. Insulation is very important. If we will not do the insulation properly, then there will be the losses and the air conditioning will not be effective inside. Normally for chill water pipe, we use the EPS expanded polystyrene. Up to 150 mm dia pipe, it should be 50 mm thick and above 75 mm thick. Dynasty 18 kg per meter cube degree Kelvin. This is a heat transfer coefficient, K value, star bond, or we can use the star bond of 3036. Closed cell nitrile rubber is also available nowadays, up to 80 mm, 90 mm thick and above 100 mm dia and above 31 mm thick. For drain pipe 6 mm thick. Dynasty 80 kg per meter cube. For DG room acoustic treatment. In DG room, we fix the GI channel 100 by 40 mm 24 gauge. Fix the fiberglass of 100 mm thick. Dynasty 32 kg per meter cube. Fix the layer of RP tissue paper and aluminum perforated sheet. And over that fix the 24 gauge perforated sheet and fix the joint by GI strip. Duct insulation. For duct insulation, nowadays we use Paramount closed cell cross link. This is a polyethylene fire retardant. Our density of 33 kg per meter cube. Or we can use the glass wool 50 mm thick of density 24 kg per meter cube of aluminum faced. We also use the duct lining to reduce the noise level. Generally we use the duct lining at the duct pieces close to the fan. These are the process how we use the duct lining. Ventilation system. As per the fire norms, we have to provide the ventilation for all parking area in the basements and plant room areas, and the pressurization of the lift well, lift lobby and staircase. For parking area, we use normally 6 air changes per hour in case of normal ventilation and 12 air changes per hour in case of fire. This is one of the tube axle fan, and how we select the tube axle fan. This is flow, this is a pressure, static pressure, and this is a power consumptions as per the different flow. Lift well and staircase pressurization. For your lift well, we use around 50 pascals, and for staircase 50 pascals, and for lift lobby 30 pascals we use. How we calculate the capacity of the pressurization fans? The number of doors, leakage area, and considering the, in case of lift well, one door open, leakage through all the doors, and keeping in view the one door open, we calculate the total CFM. Normally is coming just 14,000 CFM. In case of staircase, the door size 1200 by 2400 mm. Then this is keeping the two door open. So leakage from all the doors and two door open. This is coming as a 19,360. To we select 19,400 CFM of axial flow fan. For lift lobby, similarly for the area and number of doors, and this is capacity of the supply air fan. Thank you very much. Thank you.